Now, what do we study? What do we study? We study natural laws, the way things really work. I want you to get out your pen. I want you to write down a couple books that I want you to read. These are basic books that everybody should be reading. The first one is The Richest Man in Babylon. Good. Richest Man in Babylon by George Clason, C-L-A-S-O-N, Richest Man in Babylon. It's a beautiful book. Covers some of these basic principles, not all, but some. There's a lot of Old English in it, so I'd get a little dictionary if I were you to make sure you understand the Old English terms. I find it funny it's Old English terminology for a Babylonian story, but anyway. Then you have another book written, I think, in 1934. Oh, by the way, Richest Man in Babylon was 1926. That was written. You're gonna see a theme here in a minute. 1934, Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. That is an absolute required book for any entrepreneur. Anybody who wants financial prosperity. Just absolutely required. Think and Grow Rich. Napoleon Hill. The next one written in 1754. The Way to Wealth. Benjamin Franklin. The Way to Wealth, Benjamin Franklin. If you want to understand why there's wars in the world and how they come about, read Confessions of an Economic Hitman by John Perkins. Confessions of an Economic Hitman. He gives you the whole gradient scale of how economics on the world are changed and why wars occur and at what gradient scale they occur. Fascinating book. Another one, two more for you. Another one is Wealth of Nations by Adam Smith. The Wealth of Nations by Adam Smith, written in 1776. It's a book on economics, correct economic technology, prior to this nonsense we have now. Okay? And finally, if you're so up to it, there's a book that really beautifully describes what happens when socialism really takes hold in a society. And it's called Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand, A-Y-N-R-A-N-D. It's a 1,000-page book. It's not a, it's a brick. But it is I think it's one of the most awesome books ever written. Okay? Those of you who read it, you're shaking your head going, oh yeah, right? Okay? So that is some reading for you that's going to give you some insight as to some basic principles, what really works, okay, and how to navigate some of this. Now, again, don't forget there's arbitrary opinions, the way things are asserted to work, but actually do not. There are perversion of natural laws. Again, those arbitrary systems that we talked about earlier. Study natural laws and basic principles. Do not get caught up in, reading opinions about investment theory or tax guides. Or, I mean, you can if you want to get some of the technical stuff if you're just riveted and have to read it. But basically, if you get down to the basic fundamental, you're going to find that you're going to get a lot further done with your study time than studying opinions of others. See what I mean? Very different approach. So, what I did is I said I got these 21 principles called the Golden Route. There's a couple here that I want to cover with you. Number one, understand the basis of economics. Again, 3, be a fiduciary. Number 4, do not procrastinate. Take action, right? It's a basic principle. It's always been true. Commit to financial education, as we just discovered. 14, stay out of debt. 18, keep your taxes to a minimum. 21, take responsibility for your financial condition. These are all based on many, many quotes from many sage people throughout history. And those are the fundamental 21 principles that we use in econometrics to guide how we act today with all of this stuff going on in our modern economy.